guys, welcome back to Simply Fujica, a place for budding and aspiring entrepreneurs. It's also a place for people wanting to start their own home care agencies. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in for another week. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Before we go any further, please make sure you like the video and do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell notification to ensure you are notified every time I upload new content. This week's Viewer's Choice video comes from Sasha. Sasha commented, "Could you please make a video on how and when you started looking for office space? I really appreciate and love your videos." Sasha, I do want to thank you by supporting the channel and commenting on the video. With that, let's get started. In a previous video that I submitted our application for licensure back in September of 2019. So a couple of months before we actually submitted for licensure, we knew that we would need to start talking about if we were going to have an office space or not. And so we were leaning towards having an actual office space when I set up 2 appointments with 2 different offices that were close to our home. During our second appointment, we talked about the concept of a virtual office. And this is something that I didn't even know existed up until this point. And so a virtual office really does, depending on what your needs are, it is an option for you. So virtual offices will allow you to, of course, have a mailing address. So that already met my need of making sure that there was a professional office space address that we can have to put on our application. We had an answering service. And then 5 times during the month, if we actually needed to meet some of our home health aides, conduct some interviews. At one point we did a hiring event just to make sure we kind of did some mass interviews to see who we wanted to bring back for first, second, and third interviews. And so it was, that space allowed us the flexibility of being able to utilize that without being nailed down to one office. What I also enjoyed about the virtual office selection was the fact that, you know, we're here in Ontario, California. If that day, for whatever reason, I was going to be in San Bernardino, well, then you can see if your virtual office actually has a location in the area that you're working out of. Because you are a customer, you are now within that network. And you have an option to use the offices that are within that network as long as there's availability. So for us, it was kind of a no-brainer. We decided to go ahead and do the virtual office. I actually think we only lasted for a good 2 or 3 months before we decided we just need an office, because we actually did run into circumstances where we wanted to have the office for an afternoon or for a meeting or for whatever reason, and an office space wasn't available. It didn't happen a lot, but as you can imagine, it's very frustrating to need to work out of an office and not have one available, but yet you're still, you know, paying that rent. And so we just went ahead and upgraded at that point, and we haven't looked back since. It really just makes sense to have an actual office to call your own. Now, I will tell you, before we actually received our license, the virtual office, it, you know, besides the hiccup that I mentioned, it worked out well for us. And so I will say to you, depending on where you are in the process, depending on what the regulations say for your state, so understanding, are you able to operate from home, or do you have to have a actual physical location? You know, you kind of have to weigh those things out to understand what will work best for you. But I would say I wouldn't change anything about our road. I think we needed to have that virtual experience to bring us to where we are today. So I talked about the phone answering service. When you have the virtual space, when you actually upgrade to having your own office, then you would just have the same answering service, but the phone will ring in your office. Because you're not moving from place to place. So that was an addition that I really enjoyed. But you know, either way, you still have access to that phone. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. The office network that we're a part of is regis.com. And so what I will do is make sure at the end of this video or within the video description, I give you a couple of alternatives The three that kind of came up as I put in Office Space to do this video was, of course, Regis.com, which is what we are a part of. You could also look into EasyOffices.com and then also WeWork.com. Those are more of the common office space rentals. So again, kind of a light subject today, but I will make sure you have access to that within the video description, and you guys can do your own research. Sasha, thanks again for submitting your entry. Hopefully you guys like these little quick hits, these little quick viewers choice videos. I love them. I think they're quick hits. It's information that you need at that time, and so I think they're awesome. You let me know what you think in the comment section.